Hey everybody, this is Lewis Lee with Portland Fireplace and Chimney, and the busy season of cleaning and inspecting chimneys is here. Today I'm going to go up on this roof and I'm going to check this chimney to make sure it's watertight and it's ready to go through this next winter without any leaks. I'm also going to go inside and I'm going to sweep out the system and remove some creosote to make sure that they don't have any chimney fires. Give us a call if you need your fireplace, wood, gas, or furnace inspected, cleaned, or repaired, and we'll take care of you. Hey everybody, my name is Lewis. I'm the owner of Portland Fireplace and Chimney, and today we're talking about the 3 biggest reasons why you should have your chimney annually cleaned and inspected. It doesn't matter what type of chimney you have. It doesn't matter what type of gas is going through your chimney. Every type of chimney, whether you're burning wood or gas, needs to be inspected and cleaned and maintained annually. To make sure that you don't have any operating malfunctions and to ensure that your system is going to perform optimally when you need it during that time of year when the temperatures start to go down. So the first type of system, and the number 1 reason, is a wood burning system. Why do we clean our chimney? We clean our chimney to remove the buildup of creosote. And a lot of people sometimes ask me, well, what is creosote? Creosote. When you have a wood burning chimney and you burn wood, the smoke that comes off of the wood builds up on the interior wall of the chimney. That deposit is called creosote, and that deposit is a flammable byproduct of burning wood. A chimney fire is when creosote ignites on the interior wall of the chimney. Both sides of the flue essentially ignite, creating a jet engine effect. Flames shoot out the top of the chimney and the systems become destroyed. The components that interlock the system together thermally expand and cracks develop, which can cause heat to escape the fireplace or chimney system. And if heat escapes the fireplace or chimney system, you've got gases that are poisonous entering the living space. You've got air drying out combustible framing materials that may be next to the chimney, and those may ignite. If those ignite, that's oftentimes how a chimney can actually destroy an entire home. So a wood-burning fireplace needs annual cleaning and inspection, and that's the recommendation from the NFPA. That's the National Fire Protection Association. Today we're talking about chimney cleaning, and I wanted to show you guys all the different types of chimney cleaning equipment that we use, because we service every type of system. And so there's a lot of equipment that allows us to access all those different types of systems. This is one of my favorites. It's called the Viper. I'm going to be using it today to clean out this fireplace right here, but I'll show you a couple more. This one is called the smoke chamber brush on a really thick fiberglass black rod, and it's designed to spin inside the smoke chamber of the fireplace. This one's commonly used for heavy buildup, not super heavy, but like a light heavy buildup. This cable brush is used for super duper heavy duty buildup. It's the most aggressive brush, and I use it quite a bit. This little setup right here is my new little caddy setup. It's equipped with various types of smaller scale, medium duty, flexible rods. These brushes right here can do a really nice job of cleaning out any type of vent system. We use them for many different diameters, sizes of different types of chimneys and vents. Also dryer vents is a very common one. And then we've got tools for even removing debris and nests from the inside of a flue or a vent. So a lot of cool stuff. Today we're going to be using the Viper though to do this training on cleaning this fireplace. What we have here is a prior firebox that's been retrofitted into an original masonry fireplace. And we're going to do a simple sweeping process on it today. I've got my vacuum set up with my HEPA vac. I've got my tarps laid out, and I'm going to mask this off, and I'm going to get this chimney cleaned with this brush. And so then now we have your gas burning systems. Now when you burn natural gas or liquid propane, the byproduct is not going to be creosote, which is the deposit from wood. What you're going to have is a little bit of carbon soot, but you're also going to have a lot of CO2 and very moisture-rich vapors and carbon monoxide. These gases that are volatile, that are actually corrosive to the chimney, and over time slowly deteriorate the interior passageways, the interior chimney linings. And so if we're illustrating some type of a gas burning flame here going through a venting system, what we're doing on an annual service is inspecting the joints and seams and overall construction and functionality of the chimney system to ensure that these volatile gases and toxic gases are safely traveling through the chimney, through the building structure, you know, past your living rooms, past your bedrooms, all the places where you don't want toxic gases getting into. Our annual service on chimneys makes sure that that chimney is going to perform through the winter as intended. It's going to take those gases up into the atmosphere, past the living space, so that you're not going to have your indoor air quality compromised. So again, when you're burning gas, it's not creosote that you're getting, it's corrosion over the lifetime of the system, and potentialities are CO2 poisoning to the indoor air quality. A lot of times what I run into is the system will deteriorate and actually it will fall inward on itself and create a blockage so that the vent can no longer perform. It actually blocks the gases and then it really infiltrates the living space. Unfortunately, some customers have called from poisoning from CO2 poisoning, and we had to go in and redo their chimney. So that's why every year it's also recommended that you have your gas chimney inspected to ensure that it's going to work properly throughout the season. So here we're in the basement looking at a gas burning system. We've actually got two appliances vented through the chimney here, both using a single wall connector, which is no longer allowed per code. It's supposed to be a double wall connector called B-vent pipe. But notice how these two connectors can join here into the chimney. They stop, these metal pipes stop just behind this brick wall, and there is no chimney liner on the other side of it. So the emissions from these appliances right now are contributing to the deterioration of the interior wall of the masonry of this chimney right now. So per code, there should be a stainless steel sleeve going through the masonry chimney containing all these corrosive gases through the masonry chimney structure out to the outside atmosphere. So you can see here where there's little bits of corrosion. See, there's a little bit of rust on the bottom of that connector. That's an indication that there's been a lot of condensation going on inside of that flue. And here also you can just see the dripping on this connector. Lots of weird drips happening, and just on the brick here as well. There's times when this is not venting properly, and you do not want these gases getting into the living space above the basement. That's one of the things that people rarely realize, is that a lot of times we're at homes, we're not cleaning chimneys, we're looking at gas systems that were improperly installed or haven't been updated. And that's the case here. The other thing I'm realizing is a lot of these vent pipes technically don't have the right slope. It's supposed to be a 1/4 inch rise per foot, and these pipes are almost exactly horizontal. This one looks okay. The hot water heater is not as pitched as I'd like it to be. Give a shot looking inside the chimney at the brick. You can see the mortar. Okay, and so the third and final reason that you really should have your chimney cleaned and inspected annually is water damage. In the Pacific Northwest, we see some of the harshest conditions where we have freeze-thaw, and these temperature changes that fluctuate immensely in a very short period of time. And so our building materials are subject to a lot of expansion and contraction there. That expansion and contraction causes cracking to a lot of chimney systems and chimney structures. So the most common things that we look for and find is obviously the top of your chimney. Is the top of your chimney properly capped? Does it have a proper sized chimney cap on it that just completely gets all the water away from the masonry and brings it to the outside right here? Because that's really what preserves your chimney, is managing the water around the masonry chimney. The things that we find on chimneys that don't have a good chimney cap are obviously cracked brick and mortar. So when you get cracked brick and mortar, water starts to penetrate the chimney and it starts to leak down. And it starts to deteriorate the chimney, and any type of chimney, whether it's a brick chimney or a metal chimney, water inside your chimney is going to cause it to deteriorate. If it deteriorates on the inside, it's going to allow heat and combustion gases to escape the chimney system, and it's not going to perform its intended function. The other most common thing that we see a lot of times because people get new roofs is the flashing is improperly done, and the roofer didn't quite understand how the flashing needed to be done around the chimney, and so there's leaks happening here at the roof line, and people are getting leaking spots above their mantles and over their ceilings and things like that. And that's a lot of times because the roof flashing is inadequate and it's not tight enough to the chimney. So it's another thing that we look at. This area really needs to be well fitted in our region because we have a lot of wind-driven rainstorms that blows up underneath metal. So every year you need to have your brick looked at. Make sure that the cap is performing as it should. Make sure that the vents are properly vented out of the top of the chimney. Make sure that the inside of the chimney doesn't have any water deterioration or corrosion from water deterioration. Inspect the flashing. Make sure that it's sealed well and it's fitted tightly, because if water gets inside any type of chimney system, it just starts the destruction. Everything just gets destroyed, and a lot of times we've run into situations where the whole thing needed to be ripped out and replaced, as well as more carpentry and stuff that was water damaged around and underneath the floor of the fireplace. So that's the third and final reason. Every year we are in harsh building environments and we need to make sure that our systems are going to perform optimally, and what makes sure that that happens is annual inspection and cleaning service, making sure that when you go to use your system it's going to perform as intended. We have safety meetings every Wednesday. There's a full company. We inspect all of our safety equipment, talk about standard operating procedures and how to properly set up a job so that you're not in an unsafe position. Right now I'm putting on this harness to get up on this steep pitched roof. I've also got myself a hook ladder, which is going to help me get up to the peak of the roof. Got my first ladder set up here. It's already tied off. It's also 3 rungs above the gutter. That's the safety requirement per OSHA. So that's good. We've got a nice looking chimney cap on this chimney, so I don't expect to find anything. It's also just been rebuilt. But before it was rebuilt, this chimney was a loose pile of brick from water damage because it didn't have a chimney cap. And it had seen many, many winters. Okay, first step is actually the hook ladder. Do that now. This hook ladder has a wheel on it that allows me to roll the ladder up the roof at an angle. That way I can just push it up. When I get to the top, I'm gonna hook it over to the top, move it by the chimney. There we go. I'm hooked onto the peak of the roof, and I can walk that ladder up there. But before I do that, I've got to get my harness rope. Make sure you inspect your harness rope, make sure that it is not damaged in any way and all the pieces work. Got a couple different tie-off points. I'm going to use the right side for this setup here. I'm going to load all my rope up into my right hand, and I'm going to head up. Look at that chimney. Here we go. Up the first ladder. Maintaining 3 points of contact is important at all times when you're on a ladder. Transferring to the hook ladder. Now all my weight is pretty much on the hook ladder, and I'm getting a look at the flashing. Flashing looks good. Here I can tie off my harness here to this roof tie off. There we go. Throw my excess rope down. Rope grab's working. Okay, I'm set up to look at this chimney here. Looks like the damper's not working quite right. Maybe the cap needs some adjustment. Crown looks good, no water intrusion. Cap looks good. Brickwork looks good. Stainless steel cap. Flashing looks nice and tight. Side pieces look good. Just needs a little bit of cleanup and a sealer on it. And then that chimney will be waterproof like Rain-X.